So let's go ahead and apply some of these degree concepts to some actual problems. Let's take a look at problems 5, 6, 7, and 8, which we've got some true and false questions to start out with. First question is it true or false? A rotation of 90 degrees about O, okay, we're talking about point O, and we're talking about this diagram here, carries A, B, C, D onto itself. Okay, a couple of things about this question. What does it mean to rotate about O? When a question tells you you're rotating about O, it means that it is defining the center point to be O, which means the entire figure is going to be rotated around O like we were rotating things around the origin in the last video. So for example, if this is, let's say I've created a copy of this figure and I put it on top of this, okay, point O is the point that's right in the middle. You can see that's point O. Rotating about O means that we're fixing point O. Point O is not going to move, but the entire figure in some way is going to rotate around point O. So one related question might be, are there any points when you do a rotation, are there any points that do not move? When I'm doing this, is there any point that is not moving? Okay, and I think you can see that all the points move except for O, right? O is staying in the same location. Everything is rotating around O, but O itself remains fixed. So that's why in the definition of a rotation, it's always talking about a fixed center point, because O remains fixed. So that's the first thing. A rotation about O means that O is the fixed center point. What does it mean that it carries A, B, C, D onto itself? Okay, well, what is A, B, C, D here? A, B, C, D is a rectangle. Okay, at least it's supposed to be a rectangle. That's what they're trying to express in this figure. So to carry a rectangle onto itself means that the rectangle itself, forget about the points, but just the shape of the rectangle gets carried onto the other shape, another shape of the rectangle. In other words, you've got what we've got up here with symmetry, one figure being exactly on top of another figure, and it's fitting perfectly. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's try to answer question 5 with some of that understanding. And if it's not entirely clear what I just said, it will be in a few moments. So let's do the first question. It said we're rotating about O. So I'm going to put some kind of I'm just using a pencil. You could use the sharp end of a compass, anything that just keeps point O steady. Rotate 90% around O. 90 degrees rather around O. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and rotate 90 degrees around O. So that is a 90-degree rotation. Does that carry A, B, C, D onto itself? No. Okay, look at the two figures. Is one on top of the other? No. In fact, one is vertical and one now is horizontal, so the answer here is false. Let's look at question number 6. A rotation of negative 180 degrees, still about O. Does that carry A, B, C, D onto itself? So let's go ahead again and do this. So we're going to line it up. I'm going to line up the figure again with a patty paper. It's pretty lined up. I'm going to make sure that my point is O. That's my center point. And now I have to rotate it 180 degrees in the negative direction. So that would be a clockwise rotation, right? So let me take the patty paper and let me rotate it 180 degrees clockwise. So this is 90 degrees clockwise. I'm halfway there. I now rotate it another 90 degrees clockwise to get to 180 degrees. How about that? Is one figure directly on top of another figure? Yes, it is. Okay, they're clearly on top of each other, so the answer to this is true. I hope that clarifies what it means for one figure to be carried onto itself. Okay, so you can see the figures, the traced figure and the original figure are right on top of each other. Let's go on to question number 7. A rotation of, and when they don't give you the sign, you assume it's positive 90 about A. we're not going around O anymore, but we're going about A, results in A prime equaling A. Well, what does it mean for A prime to equal A? Well, the prime notation is what the point A is being mapped into after the rotation is done. Okay, so we said that all the points in a rotation are changed except the center point. If we're mapping about A and A is the center point, then it has to be true that A prime equals A because the center point does not move. But let's take a look at that and convince ourselves that that is true. So a rotation of 90 degrees about A. Let's line these two figures up again, and I think you can see through the patty paper that A is right here. So we're going to rotate about A. I'm going to put my pencil about A, and we're rotating in a positive 90-degree direction. So I've got to rotate the figure counterclockwise, 90 degrees, to there. That's a 90-degree rotation. Now the figure is clearly not on top of itself, right? The figure is really very different from where the rest of the rectangle is. But point A is still on top of point A prime, because point A prime is still where point A is. Where my pencil is, where I'm holding this down, is A prime. So this is true. A rotation of 90 degrees about A maps A into itself. Let's look at this problem 8. R rotated 180 degrees about 0 is. About O. Very important. So I almost made a mistake there. It's point O. It's not 0, it's point O. So R is rotated 180 degrees around point O. What is it? So what is being implied by this question is that R is the preimage. Okay, we're saying R is the preimage, and after it's rotated 100 degrees about O, what is it mapped into? What is the image going to be? So let's go ahead and let's find out. So we'll start like we usually do with one on top of the other. And I think we want to make a notation about where point R is. Okay, so you can see through the patty paper, point R is on the top here. Just make sure we know point R is there. Now we're rotating 180 degrees, positive 180, about point O. So let's put our pencil on top of point O, and now let's rotate 180 degrees in a positive direction. So we've gone 90 about now, and now we've gone about 180 altogether. Okay, remember at 180, the figures are on top of each other. And the question is, what did we just map point R into? So point R, the preimage, is now down over here. Okay, that is R. I'll zoom in a little bit on that. So you can see that is R. That was originally up here. It's now down here. So what did it get mapped into? Let's take a peek. T. Okay, so R got mapped into over here. Oops. Point T. You can see R is now on top of T. So the answer to this is T.